This question is kind of weirdly bringing us to different parts of the passage, but the main line reference is the fourth paragraph, and so that's where I would look mostly for the answer. And I think this is going to be a great example of how, answer choices don't have to be wrong for just one word. Sometimes they are, but other times there's bigger problems and there's multiple things that are wrong. But let's keep it dumb, let's keep it simple. What do we notice in this paragraph? This hypothesis can be tested by a trial wherein a small number of commercial honeybee colonies are offered a number of pyrethrum-producing plants, as well as a typical bee food source such as clover, while controls are offered only the clover. Mites could then be introduced to each hive with note made as to the choice of the bees and the effects of the mite parasites on the experimental colonies versus control colonies. So controls and experimental. I'll stop there for now. So let's go to the choices now. What's the purpose of this? Well, it sounds like they're talking about an experiment, right? So A, summarize the results of an experiment that confirmed the author's hypothesis about the role of clover in the diets of wild-type honeybees. Well, there's a lot of problems with this choice. First and foremost, even if you had never given me the lines, that word confirmed would have scared the heck out of me, okay? I know from experience that that's a very strong word. Proof, confirmation, those things are very difficult to come by on the SAT. And so that word would bother me no matter where I saw it. Like, it's not always wrong, but high probability that's going to be a problem. But even beyond that, do they ever talk about the results of the experiment? No, they're proposing what the experiment should be. We have no results because we haven't done the experiment, right? Look at the beginning. This hypothesis can be tested. It has not been tested yet. They want to, so this is the experiment to do that. So there's a couple problems here. B, propose an experiment, that sounds pretty good, to investigate how different diets affect commercial honeybee colonies' susceptibility to mite infestations. Well, look, that's a very science-heavy choice, but there's a lot that I kind of just intuitively noticed that seems pretty good. Propose an experiment, yeah, that checks out. They're definitely talking about what they eat, and they're talking about honeybees, and they're talking about mites, right? So I would just leave it there and be like, okay, that seems good enough. Let's see if anything else is also good, and then we can dive deeper if needed. C, provide a comparative nutritional analysis of the honey produced by the experimental colonies and by the control colonies. So again, a couple problems. Did they really talk about the honey? I don't think so. We talk about what the honey bees are eating, but I don't think the honey is really as important. And it's not a nutritional analysis. We're not counting calories for the bees. They're talking about feeding them two different things. One of them is the pyrethrums, one of them is no pyrethrums, but that's it. We're not getting into the whole, diet of the bees. So this just goes too far. Crossed the wrong one. C. D, predict the most likely outcome of an unfinished experiment summarized in the third paragraph. So, normally when I do these things, I'm always like, if they tell you to read something, read it. But I know that this is wrong before I even go back to the third paragraph, right? Are they saying this is the outcome of the experiment? No. They're just saying this is the experiment we want to do. They have not said what's going to happen. They're just saying this is what we would like to do. So yeah, it doesn't have any predictions. So that's not good. And that leaves us with B, and that's what we thought. So I'm not going to go back and try to make 100% sure that the science matches up. There's no other choice that could be right, and there were plenty of good things in the choice that I just kind of noticed on the surface. That's good enough. Be confident in yourself. Move on to the next question.